agree.
Objection, Your Honor, is hearsay as to what he alleges her attorney was explaining to her. That's clearly
We can move on, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Your recording that we just heard, what to your understanding is Ms. Heard referencing when she says you split?
Then, I mean, if I didn't try to put a peaceful stop to it, a peaceful end to it, then if you don't stop it yourself.
I'm actually impressed that this is how he acts.
So,
She doesn't know he's recording.
does that seem normal to you?
And how she acts when she knows she's recording. That's insane.
You told me tonight that you couldn't
That's
imagine your
like
life without
crazy,
me.
crazy.
And now you're throwing your ring on the ground. Does that seem normal?
Let's have you tell me.
That seems sober? You seem normal?
The definition of normal.
Does that seem normal?
You.
Does that seem normal to you?
Borderline personality disorder.
I'm borderline personality disorder now.
Without question.
When I've been consistent all night saying, don't go, don't fuck this all up. I'm not fighting with you anymore. I've been saying this to you the whole night. I'm really sorry we disagreed. You're not perfect. I said this 2 hours ago. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect.
I love that you put
But
me
we don't
first.
have to do this every time we disagree.
Causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that. There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Oh, stop rushing me! Stop pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, why aren't you saying the words you want me to say? Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall and going, what? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall? Stop pushing me!
Remember? I'm not pushing you. I'm not rushing you. I said, I need space.
Hell
I don't
nah.
want this conversation anymore right now. I need space.
Oh, no,
I will
that's...
take my space. Whether you like it or not, I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep halting
I'm not doing anything
this
to you.
and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric.
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop. I'm stopped. Stop. Now I have to go. Okay? So we will speak to each other in a couple of hours. Okay? I hope you have a...
Fucking killing me!
Chat, you're killing me, chat. You're killing me. You're killing me. You're killing me. I'm dying right now. I'm dying. You're killing me right now. We have an argument. You're killing me right now. Can you stop that?
I want you to
You're killing me right now. What the fuck is that, man?
I'm sorry that I've upset you.
Yeah, Thank you, Sean. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
Jesus Christ.
Saying that Ms. Heard wanted to meet with me in San Francisco.
She has a restraining order on him, yet she won't let him leave.
On the tour was San Francisco. And I was confused as to why Ms. Heard wanted to meet with me, especially since I...
Day to day, about 1 or 2 bottles of red wine were consumed per day. I think that's fair to say.
Did you ever observe Mr. Depp drink any of the wine?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever observe Ms. Heard drink any of the wine?
Yes, I did.
Regularly?
Daily.
Now, I think you already testified that you...
Yeah, Miss Heard say, why did you take your hand away from me, Johnny? Don't you love me anymore? Like, not in a playful way, I might add. And I think he replied, of course I do, don't be silly. Yeah, of course I do. And it kind of launched from that point. And at one point, Mr. Depp got up and went to the bathroom or went upstairs, and I was sort of scuttling around out of the way because I wasn't there listening. I was just there doing my stuff.
Oh, come on.
In and around them. Yeah, it was a strange, sort of banal way to start an argument, but...
How would you describe Ms. Heard's tone when she said, why did you take your hand away, Johnny?
Accusatory, spoiled teenage child. Maybe, is that fair? Pretty, not playfully, let's put it that way, more angrily.
Over the course of the 4 weeks, how did your job responsibilities in Australia compare to your job responsibilities in London?
Much the same, just on a bigger scale. The house was larger. There was a bit more setup to do, but essentially the same oversight of the house.
Wait, did he
responsible
clean
for it during the whole gig?
And were you employed by Mr. Depp or Ms. Heard?
No.
Who were you employed by?
Essentially by Disney, the production company affiliated.
Did you have an opportunity when you were in Australia to observe Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's interactions with each other?
Yes, of course.
And how would you describe them?
Initially very good, like in London. It seemed very pleasant towards each other.
Did you observe any arguments?
Yes. I had several.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about those?
Miss Heard?
Yes. A similar pattern, it seemed, to London arguments.
Uh-oh, here comes.
One in particular was very similar to the second one in London. Started in the TV room, funnily enough. Loud voices, and Mr. Depp leaving the room, shutting the door, going to another room to play his guitar or, to a bathroom, whatever. And Miss Heard closely following and opening the door or certainly rapping on the door. It seemed to continue.
Give us an estimate about how many arguments you think you observed in this time frame, approximately?
Several. I mean, we were there for several months, so certainly many more than in London.
Oh my God. Man.
All right, you have a seat. Your next question, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sit down.
Mr. King,
Yes.
before we went on break, we were discussing
David Kipper was in the kitchen
Chat,
area, which was
can you
pretty
edit
much
him doing
directly
something?
ahead as you
Like
walk
playing
up
a game or something?
those steps.
and were you able to visually see Ms. Heard?
I saw this already.
And following that conversation, what did you do?
Well, he told me that Mr. Depp had
Objection hearsay.
on the staircase, directly at the end of the bar, there was a scrunched up piece of kitchen paper, if you like, tissue, with lots of blood around it, on it. So I thought that was probably a pretty good place to look.
What did you do next?
Well, I gathered it up in that kitchen paper and sort of took it upstairs. I might have shouted up to David Kipper, I found it, I'm not sure, but I walked back upstairs to the kitchen and got a bag, a little, the bar.
Jesus, is this one dude.
And the damage on the walls, as I said, the plaster work at the end of the bar, behind the bar, and the chunk out of the marble top. So on the ground, that was...
Okay, dude, not this.
All right,
Okay.
how about the red writing that says, call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe. Were you able to tell what was used to make that writing?
lipstick, I believe.
Foundation.
And I mean, she didn't give much explanation, if any. She did say, Ben, have you ever been so angry with someone you just lost it with them? And I sort of said, no. Actually, I'm pretty calm, even-tempered guy. But she did repeat it. She looked pretty incredulous that I hadn't. And she repeated it. You mean you've never lost it with somebody, got so angry with someone you just lost it with them? And I said, "No, unless you count the sort of time when I was 14 years old and I hit the light switch in my bedroom because I wasn't allowed out that night or something. With a person, no, never." And that was pretty much the end of the conversation.
He did
Dropped
what
it
now?
then.
How would you describe her tone when she asked those questions of you?
To me, incredulous, would be fair to say. surprised that I hadn't lost it with somebody.
After they came back to Australia.
Yes.
I'm on Amber's side because she's cute.
And how would you
I'm gonna
describe
give you a
their
3D banner.
interactions?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you Prima.
Again, initially, those first few days were certainly very pleasant, almost honeymoon-like, I would say.
When you eventually found the finger, it was wrapped in paper, is that right?
Wrapped, I mean, it was loosely wrapped. The paper had opened by that point. The blood had dried up, and it was sitting in the sort of nest of this paper, yes.
So like someone had put the finger in a piece of paper?
I don't know. I mean, it was in that piece of paper.
It was in a piece of paper, okay. So, but again, like someone had wrapped it up, is that right?
I don't know. It was within that scrunched up piece of paper, kitchen paper, tissue.
So it was in kitchen paper, is that right?
Well, tissue paper. It was white with a lot of blood on it.
So like a paper towel?
Like a piece of kitchen towel.
When you say kitchen towel, our language is made, even though we both speak English, I may stay a little different. It's
No,
like a
you
paper
should
towel?
not. He's being like, you're just being a fuck
yeah,
ass.
like kitchen paper, kitchen towel. Yes.
Okay.
Like a tissue.
And was there that sort of paper towel in the kitchen at the house at the time?
Yes, in both areas, the kitchen and the bar.
Okay. Didn't see any paintings with a painting of a penis drawn on it?
I did not, and thankfully that was something I didn't have to replace.
Do you know if anyone else saw
painting.
that?
Objection, speculation.
I mean, I would have seen it.
When there's objection, Mr. King, you
I'm
just
so
need to
sorry.
stop. That's all
I'm
right.
sorry.
All right, if you stand, we can see you better when you do that.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay. And between, it cost about $75,000 to clean up the damage, isn't that right?
I don't know the exact cost. I think I calculated at the time, you know, after all the vendors had been and done their thing, it's about 50,000, I seem to recall.
Okay. Now, you said you flew back to Australia with Miss Heard, correct?
Or you pushed him.
Thank you.
She cut his finger off. You would know that the next time she talks about losing her shit, it's probably about the event, where something big you would remember. Something that's memorable. Like, dude, remember that one time, dude, where I lost it and I cut this guy's finger off? Like, holy shit, dude. Christ, man.
Mr. King, you testified on behalf of Mr. Depp.
Is that it?
Similar to that,
so
long,
fucking- you're so
like
fucking
I
dumb.
described earlier, long, thin cuts, pretty uniform cuts.
These were the cut. It was the cuts were like this on her kind of wrist, forearm area. Is that right?
I don't know what the...
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Going back to the photos.